Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. I'm Papa Boris, and in this video it's time to continue doing God's work and playing the dungeon run mode in Hearthstone. Last video, spoiler alert, it was awesome. You should watch it if you didn't. Here we're going to go ahead and play the Wee Whelp, and we'll do it as the Shaman. Like I said, just starting at the upper left corner and going across, skipping over any classes I have already beaten on camera. Now, the Shaman's kind of an interesting case. It holds the distinction as being the only class with which I beat the dungeon on my first try. And paradoxically, that means I feel the least expert on this class, because I just got luckier, things happened to go well the first time, and I've only played it the one time. I fully do not expect to win this time, although it would be pretty awesome if I did. One thing you'll notice is that not all decks are created equal. Some classes definitely seem to have better decks than others, and the Shaman's, I would say, is somewhere in the middle. There's definitely some really good stuff. You got Battle Cry synergy, which is important, and in this mode. You got the Flame Tongue Hex. I mean, there's just some you're gonna see these are all quality cards. So there's nothing really to. I mean, there's not much to complain about with the Shaman deck. There is some jank-or-dank crap, like this Air Elemental, for example. But, you know, most classes have at least a clunky card or two, and this is still a playable 2-1-on-1. It can help you get off to a fast start. So, yeah, I like the Shaman's deck. I don't know if there's a correlation between, you know, how difficult it is to win with that class in general and, like, how strong its cards are. Druid has an amazing deck, and I don't think Druid should be particularly hard to win with in this mode. But in any case, the Shaman, maybe somebody thought Shaman would be difficult, and correspondingly gave Shamans a pretty decent deck. Wow, that was a full clear. Oh my goodness, I really thought I'd be winning on turn 4, but alas, turn 4 victory eludes me. I'm gonna have to deliver the killing blow with my Stormforge decks here on turn 5. I don't even get the full health, do I? Oh, no. Oh, 1 on turn 5, so I didn't get the turn 3 achievement, or the turn 4 achievement, but I did get the full health achievement here. As I have said in the previous video, the first boss is just about impossible to lose to. So when you play, you know, it doesn't take too long to deal the 10 damage, so I don't really mind it that much. You know, you just gotta entertain yourself by making up all kinds of games. Okay, so we have some interesting options here. This one obviously can be very strong with the right deck. I don't know how good Shamans would be going for a spell focus, so I'm not that excited about it. The Justicar's Ring is a classic. It's a really easy one to like. So for Shamans, that would mean that you get to choose your totem. And of course, the hero power only costs 1, so you can start cranking them out. There is a fair bit of totem synergy in the Shaman packs. The one time I played it, I used it to good effect. So this is definitely tempting. And then the Crystal Gem is never bad. The thing I like about the Crystal Gem is it sets you up for a classic and class-neutral synergy. If on level 5 you're offered the gem that makes all of your minions that cost more than 5 cost 5, then that plus the gem is a great synergy because you start being able to crank out, you know, up to 10 mana minions on turn 4, because you get up to 5 mana on turn 4, and minions cost no more than 5. So I like it for that reason. The only thing is I prefer to do it the other way around. I prefer to take the 5 mana minions costing 5 thing first, and then loading up on those minions. If you do it the other way around, then there's always a chance that you know, take a bunch of expensive minions, and then you're not offered that other treasure. So, now I'm not saying that this is not a good treasure without the other one. I mean, this is a good treasure regardless. But here, just for laughs, let's take the Justicar's Ring, just because it lets you crank out totems starting on turn 1, which so does this, but then it makes it easier throughout the game, and being able to pick your own totem can be nice as well. We'll try to go for some of that synergy. There is a pretty interesting card that they stuck into your... Oh no, never mind. Sorry, I was thinking of something that I took in a pack last time as if it was in the starting deck, and it's clearly not. Okay, so we got totems. This is the synergy I went for last time. I'm not 100% sold on these particular cards. I mean, obviously they're really good early cards. This is not my favorite way of generating totems. There's one that's a Battle Cry, summon a copy of a random, or not a random totem, but a totem of your choice. I'm not a super big fan of these cards necessarily. Let's see what my other options are. So we got the classic Sylvanas Reincarnate combo. That could be really strong, truth be told, because sometimes the enemy does play really strong minions. Not always, though. And then here we have mechs. I don't think I mean, Shaman does like to go for a swarm strategy, of course. I don't know if mechs are the way to go. Let's grab the totem package. So we're getting a bunch of 3/4s. We can get off to some fast starts, potentially, and still keep the door open for totem synergy, because I believe, again, I'm not 100% sure, that if you pick a category once, you're more likely to see it again. So hopefully we'll get some totem generating things, and maybe something like, Primal Fusion, which is +1/+1 for all your totems, or something like Bloodlust, or even Everything is awesome, though it's not Murlocs, obviously. In my further game, I got that guy that if when you play it as a battle cry, if you have all 4 basic totems, you spawn Alakir the Windlord, the original Shaman legendary, and I actually managed to do that a couple of times. I was pretty surprised. So, I don't know if you want to like lock yourself into always going for the same thing every single time, but it's something to keep an eye on. Okay, so do I want a totem of my choice? Well, I think I'd rather have a 2/1 than a totem of my choice at the moment. Especially because I don't have any particular reason to need all 4 basic totems. I don't have that guy that spawns Alakir the Windlord, so I might as well just, keep it simple. Alright, so not using his hero power to freeze me, but instead just wiping out my 1-drop. That is fine. I think we'll just keep on playing these guys. Next turn, I can make a totem and Flame Tongue totem. He's going face. That's the spirit. That's the spirit, buckaroo. Alright, so we'll do this. I'm not going to bother killing his thing. Oh, because he's dead. Okay, so I didn't get the full health achievement, but I did get the turn 4 achievement this time, so yay me. Awesome use of the treasure that time. And are picking another card back. Let's see. No totems. Well, this is a totem, I guess. We got healing. Jade. I'm not sure how good Jade really is. Interesting. So Elementals usually has some big stuff. This is actually more of like a swarming pack, and it's not that impressive. So I'm actually going to grab Jade. Even if you don't necessarily go hardcore for Jade, Aya Blackpaw's a really good card, because there are 3 bosses that mess with Battle Cries and Death Rattles. Let's take a quick look. I think this is our first time fighting this boss. Really underwhelming hero power. 2 mana for not that big of a deal. Not, or at least it shouldn't be, a particularly hard boss. There's 3 bosses that mess with Battle Cries and Death Rattles. There's 1 boss that makes Battle Cries activate twice. There's 1 boss that makes Death Rattles activate twice. That one, I think, by the way, is the harder of the 2. And then there's one that makes Battle Cries and Death Rattles trigger twice. So having Battle Cries and or Death Rattles in your deck is nice, because you're likely to see, one or the other of those, or the other of those 3 bosses. And so having something in your deck that works with it is good. Now, for Aya Blackpaw specifically, if you end up fighting that boss, which is a late game boss, the one that makes both Battle Cries and Death Rattles trigger twice, if you end up fighting him, what do I need here? I guess we'll take the most damage. If you end up fighting him, then Aya has a Battle Cry and a Death Rattle, so she summons 4 Jades, all by her lonesome. So it's just, worth considering having her around. Oh, you can pick the same one more than once. Oh, that's really interesting. You can actually, stack spell power or something. I did not realize that. Well, maybe I should have done that. Okay, I don't think I need to kill this thing. Let's just start getting some beats on. Fat beats, cool treats. And, well, I don't know if I need spell power here. Guess we'll take a healing totem, because maybe this nether spite will run in to the taunt. This boss does have some healing cards, so I think when my wife and I were playing, we did lose to this particular boss a time or 2. So I don't want to make it sound like I just never ever lose to these bosses of whom I speak disparagingly. So let's, I guess, complete the collection. Unfortunately, I don't really have any great way to... Oh, I messed up. I should have done this first. I would have dealt 2 extra damage to the face. Ah, bummer dog. Yeah, I don't have any particular benefit to having completed the collection, but it is complete. I'm ready for it, should the opportunity present itself. Okay, well, let's see. This thing is gonna buff that thing. Alright, let's try it. So we'll do this, get a Jade. Let's whack this Wait a minute. I could have actually made like another spell totem and hit this for 5, but it doesn't really matter too much, I suppose. So now let's get taunt back. I did have to kill that dragon because it had taunt. And if I had dealt that 2 extra damage last turn, this would already be over. It'd be a turn 5 achievement and full health. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Easy there, partner. This card is crazy good. I'm just talking in general. Oh, I won't highlight. It's the 4 mana dragon that if you're holding another dragon, deal 3 damage to all other minions. It's a pretty nice card. Okay, we get an active treasure. Now, it's an easy pick for me here, loyal sidekick all the way. And this is, by the way, a really good example of my philosophy in the dungeon, which may not be the correct one. You know, is getting 7 boombots good? Yes, it's definitely really, really good. Is getting a 6/6 taunt for 3 and getting legendary minions, you know, is that good? Yes, it's good. But this has the potential to be completely unfair. Right now, it's not that great. I mean, I've only defeated, what, 3 bosses? But, you know, you gotta look at these treasures, especially the ones that have a bonus for each boss you've defeated. Like, oh, how's this gonna be in the last battle? In the last battle, this is gonna be a 9/9 for 1 mana. And if you get it around 1, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's gonna make you win the game, but it could definitely help you win the game. It might possibly, potentially, on a good day, just win you the game on the spot. And I'm willing to take something that might just win me the game on the spot if I draw it in my opening hand versus the final boss, because the final bosses are so damn hard. Okay, we have some interesting options here. So here's that thing I was talking about where you can choose a basic totem and you can choose one. Unfortunately, this is not giving me any benefit from having totems. It's just generating more and more totems. So I think the power level of these cards is a little bit on the low end. Card draw is really nice to have. That I don't really know about, and then there's Kel'Thuzad. It's good to get maybe some endgame. Obviously, Tar Creepers are fine, and this is a pretty strong one. But let's just grab some good stuff, and in particular, I'm interested in Ancestral Knowledge, because card draw can be very strong here. In the dungeon, especially after level 7, when you have 2 active treasures in your deck, and your deck is as big as it's ever been, you're the least likely as you've ever been to get your treasures. Having card draw to dig deeper into your deck and be more likely to hopefully find your hopefully overpowered treasures is really strong. Now, my first treasure is the Loyal Sidekick, which, you know, it does have taunt, but in general it's not gonna be that incredible. If I'm really far behind, it's not like a catch you up sort of a treasure. But then again, neither were the other options, so that's fine. Alright, I'm a little bit annoyed to see this that early. I'm not gonna eat this Overload 2 anytime soon, I don't think. But I'm grateful to have this treasure. Let's go ahead, or this Justicar's ring. Let's go ahead and put out, let's get 1/1. It can deal the most damage. Now this, it's worth noting, it can actually target your minions. So, maybe I should have actually thought about that. Maybe it would have been smart to think about that and say, well, let's make a taunt totem. So it's a 0/2, and then when he makes a 1/1 copy of it, I can play Flame Tongue and kill it and survive. I didn't want to trade away my 1/1 just to kill a 1/1. That seemed lame. Alright, well, let's keep the Overload. Oh, hey. Well, a 5/5 is better than the 3/4, so let's actually not keep the Overload train running here. I'm going to make a Wrath of Air totem now that I know that you can actually stack these. This hero power lets you bypass the rule of not having the same one twice. So if I need, you know, to do a bunch of damage with the Lightning Storm, then maybe I'll want to do that. Well, let's keep it simple here. Let's just use the Flame Tongue to cash in a totem, get some damage going, and rather than making a totem and an elemental, why don't we just make a totem golem? Get the big fatters on the table. This boss I'm not super impressed with. If you fight the same boss later, then its hero power becomes a 3 mana, summon a copy of a minion, period. And yeah, I've definitely had some trouble with that one. That one can be an absolute bear, because it starts, like I think I talked about in the last video, it can start generating an army of Sylvanuses, and Savannah High Mains seem to be its favorite playthings, and then you just can't ever get back into control. But this boss, well, for one thing, if you fight it earlier, it has less health, so it's easier to kill it before it can do all that stuff. It also helps that I got my amazingly overpowered treasure early, which is likely to happen in the early runs when your deck is small, and it gets less and less likely, of course, as you go along. Well, I don't know if it's likely to happen, but it's more likely than usual with only 21 cards. Aha. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. So I like this guy. It's a little bit easier now to get this off. And, you know, you might think, gosh, Boris, against these overpowered dungeon bosses, but they don't necessarily, like, clear your board or anything. And this, of course, is really strong, and that's good for drawing cards. I am going to look at what else is here. You know, it's not terrible, but that's what I was going for with the totems. So let's see if we can make lightning strike twice. Hey, there's Battlecryer Jinzo. That's the one that makes Battlecries activate twice. I have a decent number of them. The Jade Claws, summoning a Jade Totem, that's a Battlecry. Well, Jade cards often are Battlecries. Unless they're like the rogue cards that are combo. Combo is not a Battlecry. And Choose One is not a Battlecry either. Alright, this is good. So, I definitely want to keep that. I'm gonna, weird as it sounds, mulligan that axe and the Manatide. I would like to get something with Battlecries. Or, just minions, maybe like my Totem Golems. Because the axe and the Manatide don't really contribute much to taking over the board. Well, anyway, hopefully he doesn't have anything to deal with this for a while. I might just win because of that. I'm going to grab spell damage, although now that I have that 5 mana 5/5 that summons the legendary, if you have all 4 basic totems, I'm probably not going to stack these spell damages, tempting as that is. Alright, got a playable. Good. Let's whack him in the face. This is a good battle cry here. Gives things +2/+2. And taunt. Alright, something in his hand got buffed twice. I think it just doesn't matter though. Because with me playing 6/6 on turn 1, it is not that big of a deal what happens in this matchup. Especially if he's going for some kind of slow game. Buffing his hand, I really couldn't care less. In fact, can I just win right here? I've got, what is this? 2 overload cards I could play. Yeah, let's get another spell damage, see what happens. Oh, wait, whoa. Oh yeah, not Lightning Storm, right? I'm playing this. Sending that at the face. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do it, pig. It'll do that. Okay, so yeah, notice that the legendary Kobold, good card, but wouldn't have just handed me that win. And same with whatever other treasure it was that I had. Oh, buggering Dales. Well, so here we got the Scepter of Summoning, so had I known I was going to get this, I would have taken the Crystal Gem and maybe made some different choices. Let me talk about these two. People really crap on these. Like, if you go to look up guides online, the one I found anyway said that both of these are really bad, and I totally disagree. I think it's really ignorant to say that these are bad treasures. So this, double your starting health. Now, obviously, it doesn't affect the board. It obviously doesn't affect anything. But what you overlook if you just write this off as a bad treasure is the fact that the rest of your deck might already be doing its job. And if you just need more time to get the job done, like if you're pretty confident that your deck can do something, it can pull off something that's going to win you the game, be it playing lots and lots of big minions or pulling off some kind of synergy, just giving yourself more time is more valuable than taking like a jank treasure that doesn't really help you do your thing any faster. You know, if you take some, like if it wasn't these, but you know, some other 2 treasures that you know just don't help you very much at all or only help you minimally, then maybe helping yourself minimally isn't as good as just giving yourself more time to do the thing that you need to do. Especially in the last fight, when you have 50 starting health, that puts you up to 100. You actually have like more than the final boss, and 100 is a lot of health for the boss to chew through. This has also been pooped on because people say, oh, well, you know, the enemy bosses rely mostly on their hero powers. I don't know what kind of crack that person was smoking. The enemy bosses, no matter who they are, play minions, and delaying the minions by a turn can be really significant. It's one of those treasures that's not sexy, but if you really think about it, definitely makes sense. For example, there's that Mother Gloop that we faced last time, which makes all the minions in your hand get +1/+1. There's another really awful boss that reduces the cost of cards in his hand by 1 every turn, and then eventually drops a bunch of big fatters. And having something that like stops the death from dropping by a turn can be really strong. So here, because I have these 3 minions that are a little bit on the expensive side, especially Kel'Thuzad is someone I want to drop early, and because I just personally like this Scepter, I'm going to take the Scepter, but I think actually any of these treasures could be really, really good. When you take this thing, Scepter of Summoning, you really want to make sure that you try to get, really expensive minions. You don't want to take like 6s and 5s and 7s because then you're wasting value. You don't want to fill up your deck with 5 mana minions when you could fill it up with 10 mana minions and have the same effect. So, I'm really like, for example, not into this healing stuff because these are like at the mana point that I don't want to spend. Here, this is a weapon, not a minion, so it's not affected. I think that's actually a stupid card. And a 6 mana is whatever. I get that there's some synergy going on here with the resummoning, but I guess we're just going to take more totems. But these are not my favorite totem cards because they don't work at all with this, treasure I just took. The Valiant in particular can be really, really crazy good, especially when your hero power only costs 1. Okay, this is a really tough boss. When you fight him early, every time you summon a spell, he gets a Tunnel Trog. It's that 1/3 that gets bonus attack when you play Overload cards. And then we were seeing him late, so 6 is where it's starting to get really unfair. Whenever you cast a spell, he draws a card, and that card costs only 1 mana. So you really, are rewarded against this particular boss for having a minion-heavy strategy, which I mostly do. So I'm optimistic, but this is a boss that's beaten me quite a few times. So we'll see how it goes. He also starts with an extra mana crystal. So maybe I shouldn't have taken, that speculative, shall we say, treasure. Maybe it would have been better for me to take something that was a bit more guaranteed, like slowing. Like, I really now wish that his minions cost 1 more, for example. I could very well, lose because of that. But we'll see. Also, I guess against him it's going to be difficult for me to keep my totems alive, especially without any early game. And I kept Kel'Thuzad because he's my highest end minion, and I feel like it could be really valuable to drop him. Alright, yeah, this is going to be tough. I don't have anything to do for the first 2 turns, and this is definitely a boss I did not want to have a slow start against. Joke's on you, Millhouse. I don't have any spells, so boy. Okay, yep, still not getting Jack Squatter Dipper Doodle. Let's just make a taunt, because I know that taunt's going to die. I am really not loving this start. So yeah, he plays a lot of stuff that, gives you spells. Obviously, you don't want to play them unless you know what the hell you're doing, because you don't want him to just start getting that hero power. Probably shouldn't have kept Kel'Thuzad now that I think about it, because I'm going to just have a 6/8, and that's it. I'm not going to be able to do anything else. Yeah, so definitely the your opponent playing spells theme is strong here. Really wish I had an extra mana crystal, because all I'm getting to play is this Wicked Witch Doctor, who's going to die. And if I had 5 mana, I could already be playing Kel'Thuzad. He's going to overload himself for pretty much no reason. He could have just killed it for free with Millhouse. Oh, wow, he's not overloading himself. Okay, well, still, he spent 2 spells killing my minion, I guess, to get the maximum amount of face damage. So now Kel'Thuzad's not really that impressive, because there's nothing else here. That axe doesn't even kill anything, but I'm just going to play him because it's a 6/8 and it trades against the board. He did just throw 2 spells at it, so maybe he doesn't have the goods. Alright, just playing minions. Well, that's good, except, of course, then my health's getting really low. Gosh, I kind of do wish I had started with twice the amount of health. Oh, man, I think that treasure choice might have done me in. Well, not much for it here. I'm going to have to do this. Try to get... Do I do it like... No, that can't be right. Let's just put the taunt on my biggie, even though he's going to die. Who do I kill? Well, let's kill the 3/5. And, I don't know if that was wrong or not, but Kel'Thuzad was just a 6/8 for 5 mana in this game, unfortunately. Alright, he is running out of minions. I don't know if I can really successfully control him, because I'd have to play some spells to do that. Never mind. Alright, there's the Ancestral Knowledge. And he's getting a card that costs only 1 every time I play a spell, so you really have to choose your spells carefully here. So now, let's see, I can kill off this 4/1. That seems like a pretty good move. There's 8 damage coming at me, maybe more. I can make a spell damage totem and at least kill this. No, because it's going to go up to 4 health, so I'd have to also throw in my Defender of Argus at it. Unless I finished it off with the axe, but I don't really want to get hit in the face. This thing is just bad. See, I kind of blindly went for the strategy that worked well last time, and it didn't work as well this time. Another option is I could just play the Thunder Bluff and make a taunt. And that way, I'm only going to get hit for 5. It's a little risky, but I'm just going to do it. Let's just do this. Should I throw that thing? Yeah, I'm going to do this because this might discourage him. I don't know how good the AI is, but maybe the AI won't want to give up this minion, so it'll send Mukla at the totem, in which case I only take 3 damage. Yeah, okay, Cool. There's an 8/8 though, which is a bit of a problem. But let's see what we can do. I have tons of spells. I'm trying to delay for as long as possible casting spells. Well, we just noticed that the AI ran Mukla into this to protect this guy. So I'm gonna oh, no, hold on. I can't do that because I'm now at 8 health. So maybe the AI will be smart enough to just straight up kill me. Okay. So I guess what I'm gonna do is make a taunt totem, kill Mukla, and I have no choice. I need to hex this thing. Which does give him a card that only costs 1 mana. Let's go ahead and kill off the frog. So this thing at least still dies to my totem. I'm kind of scared of what his 1 mana card is. Oh, that's bad. So Lightning Storm clears my board, and I'm getting hit for 4. I cannot kill this with my axe because I would just die. So I think really this was actually not a loss that I can blame on the unfairness of the dungeon. I really shouldn't have taken the 5 mana stuff costs more. That's just what I like. But in this case, I think I probably should have gone for, well, really either of the other two, because if like the minions cost more mana, you'll notice that that would have had an impact on this entire game. I'm going to draw 2 cards just to, you know, keep up the fighting spirit here. Ah, yes, good old that card. Well, I can still survive. Oh, I should have Lightning Stormed first. Whoops, that was a mistake. Yeah, because now this thing is gonna get buffed if I lightning. Yeah, we're done here. We're done. Yeah, it was good. It was a good run. It was a good run. I made it through 5 bosses. Lost on the 6th. Perfectly respectable place to lose, but yeah. Made a mistake with the treasures and lost. So yeah, although it is tempting to say that this is just a, kind of a random mode and stuff's unfair. Your choices do make a difference. And that's what makes it a successful mode, I think, rather than just it being, random stuff and hoping to get lucky. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.